So hello and welcome to the fourth round of the Dynamic Racing League 2020. So Owen is now the championship leader and is leading the championship by 3 points over Matt. Matt wasn't able to make the race at Vietnam 2 weeks ago, where it's actually Alpamutke who took the win, but thanks to the previous results, it's Owen who is now holding, for the moment, the championship lead. So Spike has already left the session. So the first car on track is Nadav's McLaren. Nadav, who was involved in that kind of scandal with Owen at the very end of the Vietnam race, where Owen wasn't allowed by the game to overtake Nadav's Ghost under safety car. So Owen basically drove 2 laps behind Nadav's Ghost at a very slow pace. Owen was on fresh tires, while Alpamutke in the lead wasn't able to pit because he had already driven past the pit lane entry by the time the safety car came out. So Owen in the last 2 laps gained several seconds, but he was too far away from Alp. I personally would give a penalty to anyone who decides to ghost, but it's also true at the same time that you can't be completely sure whether someone genuinely lost connection or just decided to ghost. So Nadav just started his qualifying lap, already a slight correction. There is also a Mercedes on track, and I think it's Matt's Mercedes because the graphics say that Matt is on his outlap. So we will soon see Nadav's and Graham's lap times. Nadav is now in the middle part of the track. Doesn't look like a really fast lap, but still clean. So Nadav slightly locks up, and this kind of ruined his racing line because he went too wide for the next corner, for the next corner entry. Back straight, but actually longest straight of the track. Actually longest straight of the whole calendar. Nadav is about to complete his qualifying lap, last corner. Nadav on the main straight. Graham looked like he was closer to Nadav than when the lap started, and indeed Graham takes provisional pole. But at the moment it's just them two who have completed the lap, and Jayor and then Lucas betters Jayor's lap time. So Lucas on medium tires, Lucas, Jayor, Graham, and then Nadav. We're now riding on board with not the championship leader, but always the favorite for the win, Matt, who looks like he is using Michael Schumacher's helmet. Yes, it looks like he is using Michael Schumacher's helmet. I'm not sure whether he always used it during this season or whether he's just started using it. Anyway, Matt is about to complete his lap 2. He's at the end of the back straight. Now he's about to approach the final corner. There is a little traffic ahead, but they won't be able to cause any problems. Matt decides to slow down. And completes with the fourth fastest lap of the session so far. The only explanation I can come up with is that Matt probably wants to qualify on medium tires, because I don't see any other reason why he would decide to stop at the very end of the lap. It's what happens a lot in F1 in Q2 when they test the soft tires but decides to qualify on medium tires. So 11 minutes to go. We are now watching King David on Alfa Romeo. Alpamut K has the best lap time, so Matt has been on track for a few laps. Matt is unable to continue. He destroyed the left suspension, so Matt has to retire from qualifying. The favorite for the championship and the favorite for pole and win has to retire, so he now has to hope that no one else will improve, or he will go down in third or even fourth. From what I saw, he probably touched the curb on the inside too harshly, so probably this is how he lost control of the car. So 3 minutes left, 2 minutes and a half left. We now have Lucas in the final part of the track. He kind of messed up at the apex before, but he has the speed to try to attack Matt's lap time and also Jair, so let's see where Matt will end up at the end of this qualifying. Alpamut K is also on his out lap, and we have another driver out of the qualifying. Lucas, who was about to cut the finish line, Lucas spun on the exit of the last corner. So we have another driver out of qualifying. So this is going to help Matt, because I don't think at this point that he will go lower than third or fourth. We also have the other McLaren, Nadav, but Nadav decides to drive back to the pits. What is going on today? 3 crashes in less than a minute. He locked up while driving back to the pits. So the 2 McLarens out of qualifying, and Matt, while he was trying to better Alpamut K's lap time, Matt lost the car and destroyed the left suspension, so he had to leave the car there. This is where Matt crashed. We're now watching Alpamut K on board going wide, but he should be safe. so I don't think this lap will be valid, and Alpamut K does not have the time to begin another lap. So Alpamut K should be safe. Time expired. 3 minutes for the other drivers to try to complete their laps, but the time has expired, so no one can start another lap. Alpamut K still on pole. Let's see if King David can get close or even better Alpamut K's lap time. I don't think he will, but let's see what's going to happen. Not many seconds needed because he's on the back straight. Opens DRS. Heavy braking. Doesn't lock up. Maybe too wide on the exit, but let's see if King David gets to beat Alpamut K's lap time. King David on the main straight. King David is second. So Alpamut K still on pole. Jayor at the very last second. Jayor at the very last second takes pole position. I was not watching him, but at the very last second Jayor pulled a good lap and bettered Alpamut K's lap time, and now Alpamut K cannot get pole because time has expired. So it's Jayor on pole position and no one else is about to complete the lap. So Jayor on pole. Jayor is on pole. Everyone got checkered flag, so session is officially over and Jayor takes pole position ahead of Alpamut K. Then King David. Orbe King went up in 5th with medium tires also, so pretty good qualifying from 0-2. But it's Jayor who claims pole position at the Chinese Grand Prix. So here we are. We have almost completed the formation lap, so it's almost the moment of the start. Jayor takes the first spot on the grid, but he is on soft tires while Alpamut K decided to qualify on medium tires, so let's also pay attention to the different strategies. The lights are beginning to come on. It's lights out and away we go. Looks like Jayor, yes, Jayor gets a decent start. There is a piece of car flying around. There must have been a collision behind. Lucas with his McLaren went down in last place, so Lucas in last place with his McLaren. Jayor kept the lead of the race. Then Alpamut K in second, wheel to wheel. Alpamut K and King Davis probably wheel to wheel, while Matt is at the moment sitting and watching what's going on ahead of him in 4th place. Yellow flag in sector 2, yes. Yellow flag in sector 2. The two McLaren in the last 2 places, Lucas and Nadav. But let's watch what's going on at the front. Let's try to see if one of the 2 McLaren has some damage or both. From what I saw, Lucas just spawned at the beginning, but didn't look like he had any damage, so he might just need to try to catch up with the other drivers. Orb King already driving back to the pits. So when already driving back to the pits, he started on medium tires to extend his first stint, but he is already back to the pits. So let's see. Let's watch the Orb King's pit stop. He had to change his front wing, so he must have been involved in some collision or something. So he now is leaving the pits on hard tires and will try to make the stint last as long as possible. So the graphics again at the moment showing positions wrong. I hope everything will go back to normal. I hope everything will go back to normal again, because like I was saying, graphics at the moment are showing most information wrong. Now at the moment, yes, Jayor is in the lead like the graphics are showing. So lap 2 with Jayor in the lead, then King David in second place, followed closely by Alpamut K. Alpamut K opens DRS. It's pretty easy to overtake here because it's a huge braking point. So Alpamut K does go around the outside and completes the overtake, even though King David now has the opportunity to open DRS, unless Alpamut K was still behind. No, King David didn't look like he could open DRS, so King David just used the toe, or tried to use the toe, but Alpamut K managed to overtake and then keep King David behind on the second straight. Now it's up to Matt. Matt at the moment is not doing anything special. He crashed in qualifying, then he still hasn't pulled any amazing move. He at the moment is just kind of sitting in fourth place and watching what's going on. So let's see what happens. He's still Matt, so never write him off. In the meanwhile, Cla-ita went wide with his Ferrari, so we have Liverpool up in 5th place. We kind of have this group. Matt in the meanwhile overtook King David, and now Matt is up in 3rd place, so Matt on the podium. I was saying at the moment we kind of have two groups. We have the top 3, then we have this group with Liverpool, Cla-ita and Graham fighting for 5th. Riding on board with Spike. Kinda struggling, but Spike himself has said that he feels more comfortable with the car this year than in the previous games, and indeed he most of the time looks like he can score points. So Spikey up in 8th place at the moment. He's almost close to that group with Liverpool, Cla-ita and Graham, but he still is a few meters away. At the moment he is in no one's land because he is far from the, still kinda far from the group in front, and he also has a little advantage over the drivers behind. So lap 5 has started. Alpamut K all over the back of Jayor. Alpamut K on medium tires, Jayor on soft tires, but Alpamut K does look like he's quicker. So it's also true that soft tires have a very short lifespan. They can last multiple laps, but the peak performance lasts pretty short. Alpamut K nearly ruined his race there because he nearly crashed into Jayor's back, but he was good and lucky at avoiding Jayor at the very last moment. So I don't think Alpamut K got any damage because it didn't look like there was any contact. So Alpamut K probably just lost second place but can continue his race with no issue. So now it's Matt all over the back of Jayor. I was saying Matt was not doing anything special. Then he overtook King David for third. Now Alpamut K made a mistake, so Matt went up in second. So suddenly Matt is fighting for the win. Jayor defending from Matt, even though this is a pretty fast part of the track, it's usually difficult to overtake. Spike retires from the session. From the looks of it, he must have spun, and the reason that he can't continue is that his suspension fell off. So virtual safety car deployed. Virtual safety car deployed. So the drivers must respect the delta, which is already off. So the race has restarted. Matt trying to dive it down the inside. Jayor did brake pretty late, but looks like, yes, Matt completed the overtake, but Jayor decides to drive back to the pit. Like I was saying, the soft tires do have a shorter lifespan. Did Alpamut K overtake Matt? I think he did, because Alpamut K was second. Yes, Alpamut K overtook Matt on the main straight. So Matt took the lead from Jayor, then Alpamut K immediately took first place, lap 8. Matt back to the pits. Matt back to the pits with his Michael Schumacher's helmet. Oh, he had the front wing damage. I am not sure how he got that damage, but he did, because his front wing was changed by the mechanics. So lap 8. Where is Matt about to rejoin? He rejoins the track in 5th place, ahead of Jamie James, and behind Jayor. So Alpamut K, who has yet to pit, Liverpool, then Gogs, yellow flag in sector 3, Jayor, Matt, Jamie James, Ob King, Graham, Lucas. Speeding in the pit lane. Nadav also got a penalty, so not really a decent race for the two McLaren drivers. So we're now watching Matt on fresher tires than Jamie James, fresher. Jayor all over the back. I kind of have a cold, that's why I'm struggling to talk. Jayor all over the back of Gogs. Jayor can use DRS. Gogs doesn't have any DRS from anyone. Gogs knows that he's not fighting for that position, but Jayor nearly messed up. Jayor nearly messed up but completed the overtaking. So Jayor again in third place. He was overtaken by Matt, so the fact that he pitted worked for him because he was behind Matt before the pits. So Alpha-Mutke Liverpool, then we have King David, who retired from the session back to the pits. I think he will let his Ghost complete the race, hoping that there won't be any issue like last time. Yellow flag in sector 1. Alpha-Mutke back to the pits on lap 10, while there is yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Liverpool takes the lead at the moment because he has yet to pit, and he is on medium tires, so he might extend his stint a little bit longer than this. So Jayor is about to drive past the pits, but Alpha-Mutke rejoins just ahead of Jayor. So Liverpool, Alpha-Mutke, Jayor, but Alpha-Mutke is actually the leader because Liverpool will have to stop, and he surely does not have the advantage over Alpha-Mutke to pit and come out in front. So Alpha-Mutke basically in the lead of the race ahead of Jayor, then Gogs holding Matt back at the moment. Matt is, according to the graphics, half a second off Gogs, so he should try to overtake him on the straight, as Gogs does not have DRS because he's about 4 seconds off Jayor. So Matt losing quite some time. Jayor opens DRS but didn't get any closer to Alpha-Mutke. Liverpool still in the lead on lap 11. I am not sure what his strategy is, because I think that in the meanwhile Orbekin got a penalty for multiple warnings, and I was saying that I'm not sure what Liverpool's strategy is, because the hard tires should already be enough to get to the end. Maybe Liverpool is waiting for some safety car or something to happen to finish higher than he should. So Liverpool, still on track, decides to stay on track. Liverpool, Alpha-Mutke, Jayor, Matt is now up in 4th. Jamie James and Matt overtook Gogs. Gogs has not pitted yet because it looks like, according to the graphics, his tires are 10 laps old, so Gogs was overtaken on track. Another lap goes by and Liverpool is still in the lead. Think I need to drink. Safety car deployed. So lap 12, safety car deployed. Liverpool nearly stopped on track, probably to respect the delta, because he nearly stopped on track, and you see on the right part of the screen Nadav's McLaren. So maybe some mistake, and we have drivers deciding to drive back to the pits. Liverpool, Alpamut K, Jayor, Matt, Jamie James, Gox, Orby King struggling at the moment, down in 7th place, championship leader and 5-time winner of the Dynamic Racing League. So Liverpool decides to pit under safety car, so he probably will lose a lot less time than you lose when you pit in normal conditions, because Alpamut K driving back to the pits too. So let's see where Liverpool rejoins. Matt didn't need to pit because he pitted a few laps ago, so Liverpool rejoins in 2nd place because Matt did not pit. Alpamut K and Jayor behind him pitted too. So after his pit stop, Liverpool is in 2nd place. Alpamut K and Jayor decided to choose medium tires, while Matt is on hard tires. So let's see what's going to happen, because Matt didn't pit, and this is why he took the lead, but hard tires should be slower than medium tires, so there might be a fight when the safety car comes in. There's also Liverpool in the way, so Liverpool might help Matt somehow. Lap 13. The safety car turned the lights off, so the race is about to restart. Attention, because Matt is now on hard tires while the drivers behind are on more performing tires, so it's not so sure that Matt will be able to keep the lead. Matt controlling the pace and still going right and left to keep his tires warm. Looks like Matt restarted, so race on again. Matt in 1st place, then Liverpool, Alpamut K. Let's see how long it will take for Alpamut K and Jayor to overtake Liverpool. but they are also fighting each other, so pretty confused situation at the moment. Matt, Liverpool, Alphamut K, Jayor. 15 lap, 15th lap. Matt, Liverpool, Alphamut K, Jayor, Jamie James, Orb King, Gox, Graham, Lucas, and Cheliama. So Liverpool now has DRS from Matt, so Liverpool should be able to keep his second place for at least another lap, because Alphamut K is nowhere near close to Liverpool, and indeed Liverpool got really close to Matt towards the end of the straight. So Matt, Liverpool, Alphamut K, nothing has changed at the moment. Liverpool even trying to get close to Matt. Liverpool on the same tires as Matt too. Both are driving on hard tires. Lucas up in 7th. So according to the graphics, Liverpool is still pretty close to Matt. Maybe Matt is even trying to give his DRS to Liverpool, because Liverpool is helping Matt at the moment, because Alphamut K and Jayor can't attack Matt yet. Liverpool even nearly had the chance to overtake Matt. Alphamut K going off track, rejoins ahead of Jayor. Jayor overtook Matt, Alphamut K on the outside. Race control, Gox got a penalty for warnings. This is one of the hardest tracks to get warnings, because there are not many corners where you can benefit from cutting. So on lap 17, Liverpool still keeping second place, mainly helped by Matt and his DRS. Alphamut K also got a penalty for warnings, so time will be added to his final result. Lap 17, there is a three-way battle here. Alphamut K on the inside fighting Jamie James wheel to wheel. Orb King also close to Alphamut K. Will Orb King get past? No, he didn't. So Alphamut K in 5th place, and Orb King following pretty close. Apumutke really struggling because he also has a penalty, so he needs to overtake Jamie James and then get close to Jayor again, but he also has a penalty, so it's looking hard for him to do anything more than a podium, to achieve anything more than a podium. Liverpool still, at this time I think that Matt is actually trying to help Liverpool, because I don't understand why Matt can't pull away from Liverpool, so I actually think at this point that Matt is helping Liverpool to keep Jayor away. Liverpool making a few mistakes here and there. Jayor can open DRS, and now Jayor can finally hunt Matt down. So less than 10 laps left and Jayor can start to attack Matt. Jayor can now try to attack Matt because there is not Liverpool between them anymore. Looks like Jayor is already getting close. I said before that Jayor is on softer tires, medium tires to be exact, while Matt is on hard tires, 10 laps old hard tires. Jayor about half a second off Matt, so quite not close enough. Matt had to control the back of his car there. Jayor opens DRS. Doesn't look like he can overtake yet, but he gets close. He has more pace at the moment. 20 laps completed. And Jayor every lap stays close to Matt because of tire advantage, so Matt really is struggling to keep Jayor behind. After all, the reason that Matt is in the lead is that he didn't pit under safety car while the others pitted, so let's see if that pays off. Orbeking also up in third place. While Alpumtke has kind of disappeared because after he got the penalty he made a mistake on the straight, on the main straight, and now he's down in 7th place and is not doing anything to come back. So at the moment Alpumutke has kind of disappeared. Matt just can't pull away from Jayor. Jayor, every lap that goes by, Matt has a better chance to win because medium tires have shorter peak performance than hard tires, so Jayor needs to use the most of his tires now, but he still has six laps left to try to do something. It's Graham in last place. Still enough for points because there are only 10 cars left, so Graham in last place but 10th place. And because Matt doesn't have a great pace, Orbeking is also getting close to the two in front, so the championship leader might actually keep his lead. Cla-ita driving back to the pits with his Ferrari. Has his front wing changed? Let's see what tires he chose. He chose red tires, soft tires, of course, because there aren't many laps left. And I was saying that Orbeking is also pretty close to the two in front, because Matt is holding them back. Jair opens DRS, but he needs to try to stay closer before the back straight, because this is the main opportunity, to the best place to overtake. Matt, Jair, Orbeking, while Alpamut K still in 7th place. I don't even think he has any damage. I don't understand why he is lacking pace, because he didn't really hit anyone. He just went wide and got a penalty for that, but I don't think he has any damage. So all of a sudden Alpamut K is struggling and is down in 7th place. If I have to be honest, Alpamut K is fast, but kind of not really constant. So Matt, Jair, Orbeking all have DRS except for Matt, because he is in the lead. So Jair and Orbeking have DRS. Jair now really close to Matt. He can use DRS on the main straight again. It's actually a short straight, so it's usually easier to overtake on the back straight than on the main straight, but he really got close before the corner. It's not a clear overtaking area, because turn 1 is last lap of the race. And in the last laps it looked like Jair's performance dropped. He is now even being attacked by Orbeking, but there is only one corner left. Matt takes the win, then Jair finishes in 2nd place, and Orbeking completes the podium. So Jair's performance, like I predicted, dropped because of the tires. So at the moment is now Matt in the lead again. Matt takes the lead of the championship again. Alpamut K went down in 7th place and stayed in 7th place, then Gox, and now we are waiting for the last car. Cla-ita with his Ferrari completes the top 10, which is actually last place because only 10 cars finished. So driver of the day, Jamie James, according to the game. I would personally say Owen, because even though he lost the lead of the championship, he still is keeping the fight on. Matt really struggled keeping Jair behind, but in the end Jair didn't have any more tires left, so his performance dropped and Matt took the win. So this is the final result. Thanks for watching and see you next time.